Hey everybody, how you doing? Tekking and Barry back again, and we got some special news for you all today. That's right, you can tell we have some new Bleach information. That is right, there is going to be, are you sitting down for this, a brand new manga chapter of Bleach drawn by Taito Kubo coming out in just a few... Sorry, chopper hat, sorry, force of habit. Brand new manga freaking... Brand new manga There it is. Okay, alright, sorry. It's been a while since I talked about Bleach, okay? Actually, it's only been like a month since I did the Lieutenant series, but whatever. I had to do the funny hat gag. Okay, so anyway, yes. New information, not about the anime. We still don't know really anything about that, although I would assume it would come out next year in 2022. But in preparation for that, kind of laying the groundwork, there will be a special Bleach chapter coming out in the issue of Shonen Jump being released on August 10th, I believe, and it's going to be 73 pages long to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Bleach from 2001 to 2021. This is happening, drawn by Kubo and everything. We do not know what the plot of this series will be, of this, like, special, 20th anniversary chapter, so that's what we're here to do today, to talk about it. I'm really excited about this. I think 2022, guys, is going to be a really good year. It's going to be a good year, alright? We're going to get Bleach back again, the anime is going to be around, and just like other manga series I think are going to get really ramped up next year. So get ready for this. I'm feeling like 2022 is going to be a really, really big year, okay? So, 20th anniversary chapter, I'm definitely going to review it when it comes out. I'm digging around my studio trying to find all the stuff from the Bleach days to, like, put up, like, a different backdrop and everything and kind of do it the way that I did it back then. Because this is so wild. It's been 5 years, almost 5 years exactly, and by the time this 20th anniversary chapter comes out, it will be like 5 years exactly, because Bleach ended, I don't remember the exact day, but it was early August of 2016 was when the final chapter came out. I remember that because when I did my final chapter review, I waited like several weeks to prepare for it. I remember I did my last chapter review of Bleach, like it was the last day of August, and I remember the chapter had already been out for a couple of weeks at that point. So it was like around mid-August, I think. So this will be like exact. This will be like 5 years to the day, roughly, give or take a few days that Bleach ended, okay? So, let's get down to it, okay? What is this going to be about? Okay, so 73 pages. Your standard Bleach chapter, standard manga chapter weekly in Shonen Jump is around 17 to 18 pages, which, if I know my math, which I don't, but I do have access to a calculator, 73 pages divided by 17, that's like roughly 4.2, 4.3, something like that. So we're basically getting like 4 chapters of Bleach in one go, alright? And it's been a while since, Kubo has drawn Bleach. He does sketches every now and then, and obviously he drew Burn the Witch, which was really good as well. But it's gonna be so awesome to see these characters again. So let's dive right into the theories on how this is going to go. The first thing I thought about is like, okay, are we going to continue the story where we left off? And if you need a brief refresher there, we left off with Ichigo and Orihime being married, Rukia and Renji being married, both of them having children, Ichigo's son Kazui Kurosaki, and Rukia and Renji's daughter, Ichika, named after Ichigo, Ichika Abarai, okay, who is also a Shinigami in training, okay? And so the end of the series was Kazui meeting Ichika in Ichigo's old bedroom, and then, Kazui transforms into his, Shinigami form, and he has a sword that has, like, a Zangetsu, very similar guard, and, he's like, I'm a Shinigami too, and Kazui's, like, 4 at this point, or whatever, so it's like, what's going on here, and it makes sense, given the fact that this is a genetic thing, that, Ichigo has Shinigami powers from his father, and, Quincy powers from his mother. It would make sense that his son would also have Shinigami powers as well, but being able to access them at such a young age, that is something very interesting there. So are we just going to continue on with that? Or are we just going to pick up where we left off there? I feel like not. I feel like Kubo's not going to do that. I feel like if we are going to go into the far future, because if this is like not going to touch upon the anime at all, I thought about that too, because I think the anime is going to add in a lot of stuff. Like Kubo has like some extra notes, and he's like, I wish I could have done this during the final arc, or I wanted to do this during the final arc in the manga. I didn't get a chance to then, so now I'm going to do this in the anime. I'm thinking that's going to happen, so I think most of that's going to be kept for when the anime is released. So I really don't think that this chapter is going to reference anything directly from the Thousand Year Blood War arc or anything. Maybe the characters might be, you know, indirectly mentioned, you know, by characters and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be like the focus of the commemorative chapter is going to be the focus on this 20th anniversary special, okay? So, what if, I thought about this idea, what if you jump even further into the future than even the final chapter did, okay? So Kazui and Ichika were like little kids in this version. What if we get to the point where, you know, Kazui is all grown up and he's like the next substitute Shinigami taking care of Karakura Town, right? So, because it's a 20th anniversary special, you gotta keep that in mind as well. I think there's going to be a lot of tiebacks to the original, you know, Bleach chapter, you know, chapter 1 and also the substitute arc, also probably the Soul Society arc, because I feel like the Soul Society arc, like when it comes to sales, that was the arc of Bleach that was like, that was Bleach in its heyday right there. That was when Bleach was like as big as I think it's ever been. You might have other arcs, like maybe you like the Arrancar arc or the Fullbringer arc or the Thousand Year Blood War arc, but when it comes to like height of Bleach in terms of mass popularity, it was the Soul Society arc for sure. And so since this is a 20th anniversary kind of thing, I'm thinking Kubo might really focus on that aspect of the series, like kind of like, all right, it all comes full circle, you know, Ichigo awoke his Zanpakuto and he fought against, you know, Fishbone D and everything to save his family. There might be a situation in this new chapter where Kazui is a teenager and then he awakens, you know, his Bonkai or something, and he has to fight against a Hollow or some Menos Grande that attacks Karakura Town because maybe Ichigo is injured or something in the process. Like, there's a bunch of things you could do with this. I'm gonna be getting back to Ichigo in a second, because there's a lot of stuff to unpack with him. But yeah, I could see that. I could see it like going full circle, and like the 20th anniversary chapter ends with Kazui standing over maybe somebody like an innocent bystander or something, like, are you okay? I'm Kazui Kurosaki. I'm a substitute Shinigami. I'm the deputy Shinigami in charge of Karakura Town. It'll all be okay. And at like when he is 15 years old, he's like even stronger than Ichigo was at that age. Like at age 15, Kazui already has like mastered his Bonkai at that point. Well, I guess Ichigo got his Bonkai when he was 15 too, but like he's already like beyond that level, because, you know, at the point when Kazui was born, Ichigo literally had like the powers of a god. You know, he was pretty damn strong, okay? And so let's get to him really quick. Let's talk about Ichigo, all right? So Ichigo, a big running theme of the final arc was that, is Ichigo going to get so powerful with training at the Soul Palace with the Zero Squad and everything? Is he going to get so strong he's not even going to be able to return to the world of the living? And that was a thread that we were actually following for a while. Remember when Shunsui arrived into the world of the living and he had the soul tickets and everything, and he gave, which was actually a holdover from Bleach, like the pilot chapter, like chapter 0. And so he gave these tickets to Mizuhiro and Keigo and Tatsuki and everybody. He was like, you know, if Ichigo cannot return to the world of the living, he might literally have the powers of a god. You know, his presence in the world of the living might actually cause a detriment to the souls. So if that does happen, you can use these tickets to come back and forth between the Soul Society and visit him whenever you want, right? And so, you know, Keigo got very upset over that and everything. And that plot thread just kind of died. It kind of died. It didn't even, like, have a conclusion. It's just, at the end of the series, Ichigo does have insanely powerful abilities. He has a whole new Zanpakuto, his true Shikai, his true Bonkai. He's kind of mastered his hollow powers, his Vasto Lorde form. He's got the Quincy abilities from his mother. And the thing is, though, we don't even really see Ichigo return to the world of the living, you know, when he's like 17 years old after he defeats Yuha. We don't even see that scene. Ichigo cuts down Yuha with his sword, and then we have like the last 2 chapters of Bleach that cut like 10 years into the future, okay, where Ichigo is living peacefully with Orihime at the Kurosaki clinic. Yuzu and Karin come over, and like all of Ichigo's friends are there, and they're gonna watch Chad's boxing match because Chad's a professional boxer now. And that's just there, and it's just never referenced, okay, except for the fact Kazui also has Shinigami powers, right? Okay. And so that's what I mean, like, what happened there, And that might be, like I said, that might be something they might address in the anime. Like, we might actually see, like, after Ichigo slays Yuha, we have an episode or 2 that focuses on, like, can Ichigo even return to the world of the living? Or as, like, the second he steps into the world of the living, will it, like, collapse because of how strong he is, or whatever? I don't know if this is explained in the light novels at all. It might. And also, I'm pretty sure stuff from the light novels, Can't Fear Your Own World, is going to make its way into the final arc in the anime. Like, it pretty much has to. That's another thing I had, too. Like, if we're not going to focus on Kazui, or if we're really not going to focus on Ichigo so much, are we going to have some stuff from the light novels, like with Shuhei and everybody? Kubo drew, like, Shinji's Bonkai and Shuhei's Bonkai in the light novels. Are we going to get to see those here in the chapter, like in an actual Bleach chapter that, Kubo draws the whole thing? Are we going to get to see, like, their Bonkais there? That might be a cool way to take it, because, like I said, Bleach's heyday was very much during the Soul Society arc, and so, like, everybody loves the captains. Like, that's good, nostalgic Bleach right there. The 13 Court Guard squad, the original Gotei 13, right? And so maybe this is kind of going out there a little bit, and Kubo's really never done this before in Bleach, but that's why this might make a good 20th anniversary special. Basically, have fun with it. Like, this entire special might not even be canon, right? It might not even take place in the actual storyline. It might not be referenced in the anime at all. It's just a fun little chapter. It's like Bleach has been around for 20 years. Well, 15 years, but you know what I mean. It's been, well, hey, that's funny. 2001 to 2016, 15 years. 15, of course, being a very relevant number in Bleach. So there you go. Even just Ichigo's name, Ichi 1, Go 5. One of the ways you can read it is 15. It's also Strawberry is the actual death in the strawberry, but 15 years, that also seems planned. But at any rate, yeah, Kubo might just be like, okay, I'm not going to spoil anything in the anime coming up. That'll be for the anime. I'm just going to have fun with this. So, you know what we've really never had in the manga? I think it's sort of been established in some of the filler arcs, like the Reigai arc kind of established this. A Gotei 13 tournament arc. It's a manga. Tournament arcs, they tend to happen a lot. Bleach never really had those, okay? In the Soul Society arc, it was very much about Ichigo going after to try to rescue Rukia and fighting the captains and the lieutenants and everybody else along the way. Some of the captains would fight against each other, but it wasn't a tournament. Fake Karakura wasn't that. You had the matchups very similar to a tournament, but it wasn't like a tournament. I'm thinking, like, if it's 20th anniversary and it's just for fun, and if it's kind of like an OVA sort of deal, if we're gonna do that, then maybe we could just have it take place during the Soul Society arc, right? And all the captains are there. Maybe it takes place after Eisen defects. So Eisen defects, and remember, Ichigo and his friends were in the Soul Society for like a week or so after Eisen and Tozen and Gin defected. I don't know. Maybe you could have a little scene there in that little gap where that was when, like, Rukia apologized to Kukaku about Cayenne's death. Maybe take place during that time period where the captains just decide to have a tournament. And it doesn't have to make sense. It'd just be cool. And we could see, like, Kubo can draw, Daiguren Hyorimaru again, and Senbon Sakura, Kageyoshi. Like, we just get to see the Bonkais again. That would be cool. Oh, here's another angle you could take it. Everybody loves Eisen, right? Do you love Eisen? I love Eisen. He was a villain, but he was Eisen, right? People love Eisen. What if Kubo goes, like, the Naruto angle with it? Remember that one Naruto movie where everything took place in, like, that Genjutsu world? Like, the finite Tsukuyomi, or whatever it was called? Remember that movie? I forget what it was called right now. I'm actually blanking on it right now. But remember that. And so what if the chapter starts off and it doesn't make any sense? Like, what if the chapter starts off and it's like, Eisen fighting alongside the rest of the Gotei 13 against the Quincy's or against some kind of threat. And you're sitting there and it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Is Eisen still a good guy in this version or whatever? And it's like the whole chapter is just filled with like mind screw after mind screw. It's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Is this taking place in a parallel universe? What's going on? And at the very end of the chapter, you know, Eisen's like, you know, I release Kyoka Suigetsu, and it's like, it was all an illusion, and then it's like, something else altogether, and it's like, oh my god, that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny, because everybody loves Eisen. I'll tell you what, and I'll just be straight up here, okay? If it's not going to be used in the actual anime, show Eisens Bonkai here. Everybody wants to see it! That is like the one last thing that has yet to be touched upon in Bleach. I mean, there's other stuff too. You know, there's other mysteries and stuff, but we got to see Shinji and Shuhei's Bonkai in the light novels, at least, right? Which I believe, at least the Can't Fear Your Own World, that's over. That's done already, right? So that's already been written, 3 volumes, they're already all out. Unless there's another light novel series that might start up, which very well might happen, and maybe next year when the Bleach anime comes back and everything. But Eisens Bonkai is that biggest question. I am sure Kubo gets letters about it all the damn time. You know, what's Eisens Bonkai? What's Eisens Bonkai? Can it control reality? Can it, like, turn back time? Can he manipulate space? You know, what does he do? What is it? You know, everybody wants to know. There's theories that, like, well, maybe he doesn't even have a Bonkai, or maybe Kyoka Suigetsu's illusion powers, you know, his hypnosis, that was his Bonkai the whole time, and the fact that he was pretending it to just be a Shikai was, like, just gaining a mental advantage over everybody, and he was using the illusion to make people think it was just his Shikai, you know, because he's already done that before, by the way. Eisen already used Kyoka Suigetsu to make everybody think it was a water-type Zanpakuto when it was actually a hypnosis Zanpakuto. So it's like, you know, I'm using my Shikai the whole time, but it's actually I've been using my Bonkai the whole time. There's theories about that. They're all over the place. But, like, confirm it one way or the other, okay? And if you're not going to show Eisen using his Bonkai against Yuha, which could still happen in the anime, you know, because he was capable of using his Shikai against Yuha in the manga, even when he was all, you know, strapped to the chair and with all, like, the BDSM gear and everything like that. He was still able to summon Kyoka Suigetsu and use its Shikai, so he would be able to use his Bonkai too. Maybe just didn't have enough time in the manga or whatever. But if you're not going to do it then, if that's not going to be in the anime, just show it in the 20th anniversary special. Because can you think of a better way to get people hyped up about Bleach again than that? I sure can't, okay? I sure hell can't, alright? It's like, yeah, Bleach anime's coming back next year. Everybody get hyped for it. Here's a chapter with Eisen's Bonkai. How's that for a press release? How's that for, like, you know, to promote a freaking movie production? Not a movie production, an anime production, yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool. Even if we don't get to see that, maybe you could play with some other Bonkais, like, you know, well, okay, Kenpachi's Bonkai, we didn't get to see a lot of that in the manga, but that, once again, will probably be what the anime's for. We'll probably get to see a lot more of Kenpachi's Bonkai, you know, Toshiro's True Bonkai. We'll probably see a lot of that when the anime comes out, alright? So I don't know if Kubo wants to touch upon that stuff, but, you know, I'm hoping that this 20th anniversary chapter, I'll tell you what I hope it isn't. And, like, okay, if we did get this, it would still be nice. It would just be nice to see Kubo drawing a chapter again. Or 4 chapters altogether, right? That would be fine in and of itself. I don't care what it's about. It could just be Ichigo and Orihime and Chad and Uryu and Rukia hanging out in his room, watching TV, you know, drinking some sodas or whatever. Like, just like, been a while since we just all hung out, guys. And then, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, just like, that's the whole chapter, just them watching TV. They watch Bad Shield United. That's great. But no, I would like it to be something that did show all of the Shinigami again, displayed their Zanpakutos, because that's what everybody really thinks of when they think of Bleach. At least the first thing you think of there. You know, I would not want it to be like, okay, it's just Ichigo living his normal life. He's a dad now. He's a husband. You know, him and Kazui and Orihime all go to, like, the amusement park together, and it's fun. You know, maybe, like, a Hollow attacks the amusement park, and Kazui, like, Ichigo's about to kill it, but then Kazui shows up and he kills it, and then Ichigo's like, that's my son, and then that's the end of the chapter. like, it would still be awesome. The way that Kubo would draw it would look cool, and seeing the characters again and everything. Maybe we'll see Kazui pull off a Getsuga Tensho or something. That'd be nice, but I wish it would be something a little bit more than that. Let me talk about that really quick, too, because something that was a piece of criticism that came up a lot during the final arcs of Bleach was, like, the art style, specifically the backgrounds, okay? You know, Kubo doesn't really do backgrounds too much, and you know what? I think that makes it very striking. If you do go back and look at early Bleach, there is a distinction there. Some people say, it's like, well, you know, over the years, Kubo got more tired, and, you know, he had a lot of injuries along the way. It's tough being a mangaka, it really is. And so the reason he scaled that kind of stuff down, there's another one too, like, oh, here's one right here. Yeah, right there, like that kind of stuff, you know, it's like there's like no backgrounds whatsoever. You know, sometimes it is distracting that there is no backgrounds, but a lot of times I think the reason Kubo does that is just to make it more impactful. Like the scene when Yuha has Ichigo, like, you know, held up by his neck, and he drains all the power out of Ichigo, and he's like feeling his Shinigami powers, he's feeling his Quincy powers like fading out into white, and then you just see Ichigo like fall to the ground with a white background. I eat that stuff up. I eat that shit up. That's pretty cool, right? But there are other times where it's just like, okay, there is really no backgrounds here. That is kind of distracting. So maybe now, because Kubo obviously had a lot of time to work on this, this is being announced now, and it's coming out within just a few weeks. All right, so this is already finished. I'm sure Kubo has already finished this chapter, and it's like, all right, everything's inked, everything's ready to go, it's ready for release. And it's like, there's a lot of breaks coming up with Shonen Jump anyway, so it's like 2 weeks from now, or less than that, honestly, like less than like maybe 10 days or so from now, whatever. Yeah, this is going to be like maybe a full out chapter, might have more backgrounds, maybe Kubo has some assistants, I'm not really sure of the full staff that was helping him with this, but he had more time to work on this. This was what I'm saying. It's not like a strict schedule like the end of Bleach was, where it's like you got to get these chapters out really quick. It's like he had as much time to work on this. He might have been working on this since like January or last year, you know, just like taking as much time as he needs, work on it a little bit, go away, come back, because he had that freedom now. All right, so I'm thinking the art and the backgrounds and everything, it's going to be still Kubo style, but it's going to be Kubo kind of refreshed a bit. It's going to be like, all right, I had a lot more time to work on this. This is me at my best, and it's been so long since I've drawn these characters. I'm kind of refreshed. I'm looking forward to how this is going to look, just aesthetically. It's going to be great. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, we don't know anything else about the chapters, so that's pretty much like my ideas, like focusing on the Shinigami during the Soul Society arc, maybe, you know, going way into the future to see like Kazui grown up, and, you know, Ichika as well, and like they're the two Shinigami that are like protecting Karakura Town. You could go that angle with it. You could just have Ichigo and Orihime and Kazui having, like, you know, they go to amusement park, hollow attacks, they have to fight the hollow. That's really cool. Maybe along the way we can drop some lore, some character development, like, you know, Ichigo's taking Kazui to the amusement park, and Kazui's just like, hey dad, what about that scary captain with the face paint? He's like, oh, Mayuri? Well, I hear he's making clones now. Isn't that just lovely? You know, like we get some, like, you know, we get some backstory to see what the captains have been up to or whatever along the way. But at the end of the day, it is 20th anniversary. It has to have like a really feel-good message at the end. It's not going to end with like Ichigo being defeated, bloodied on the ground, and being like, Kazui, my son, you must avenge the strawberry. And like he hands Kazui his Zangetsu, like, make it your own. Ugh. And then Ichigo dies, and Kazui's like, yes, father! I will avenge you! You know, and then we have Vinland Saga Bleach, basically, which... Okay, Thorfinn in his prime versus Ichigo in the substitute arc. I think Thorfinn has a pretty good chance. You know, no, okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, Record of Ragnarok version Thorfinn, where Thorfinn has powers of Valkyrie weapons, Valkyrie power dagger against Ichigo. Now we're getting into it. That's what oh, I didn't even consider a crossover angle. Probably not going to be a crossover angle, because it's the chapter commemorating Bleach's 20th anniversary, but hey, you might... Oh, my hair's a mess. I'm just filming this after I woke up. But, you could do that, you know, like, you know, One Piece Bleach crossover, Black Clover Bleach crossover, Vinland Saga Bleach crossover. Like, okay, sure, you know, it also might be kind of silly like that. There might be breaks of the fourth wall and whatever. You know, it's just like, man, it feels like we've been doing this for 20 years now. And Ichigo just looks directly at the reader like, whoa. you know, like I said, it's a special chapter. If it's not canon, you could have fun with it. Kubo might try to make it canon, though. Kubo might try to, you know, place it in the story, maybe a prelude to the Thousand Year Blood War arc, or I was gonna say we could go back in time, but considering 20th anniversary, Ichigo does need to appear. So we can't do this like, you know, 50 years ago or 1,000 years ago, you know, like we see Yamamoto fighting Yuha for the first time. That stuff, I think that's going to be saved for the anime. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know down below how hyped you are about this and what you're expecting from this chapter, what you hope it'll be, what you hope it won't be. And you know what? Once again, even if this chapter, even if it is something that's like, it was okay, but it's mostly fan service, it's nothing that crazy, we still got a whole anime ahead of us next year in 2022. So thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking, Barry, Sode no Shirayuki, Benehime, and Ichigo signing out. Later, everyone. I'm a lamp.